Yo, look what I got from TF Safari. It is Xtransbot Scrapper. And I'm just going to say it, man. This is probably the best Xtransbot KFC product that I've ever beheld and messed with. Like, it is a treat. It really, really is a treat. And in this video, we're going to review the car mode, or excuse me, the truck alt mode, the tractor mode, the combine mode, and the bot mode. But first, I actually just wanted to give you a quick sneak peek of all the different modes. And as you can see, he is in his wing tractor mode. It's a little bit different from the way the G11 works, in that this is not directly connected to the tractor itself. This is an extraneous piece. And yeah, it is a parts former, and you just kind of slip that off. And this entire bit over here, you can tell, is the thigh and the knee connector. And this is just the tractor by itself, and it's nice. It's really, really quite nice. There's a couple of bits here that that I removed for the sake of showing off the transformation. You can keep them attached, but they're just a tiny bit loose, and they were messing with the clearance, and so I took them off. But yeah, you just pop them right back in. And this does have a flip joint where you hide them in robot mode and stuff like that. And you don't need to remove them at all. But anyway, dude, it's a nice piece. It seriously, seriously is. Lots of metal, good, strong, durable plastic. I mean, like, seriously, how many times do you hear that in the same sentence as XTB? Good, strong, durable plastic. If they keep doing what they're doing, improving their engineering, improving their manufacturing, and the quality of the parts, people are going to start really, really taking them seriously. Because right now, their reputation is a little bit iffy. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? There's still a little bit of jank on them, which makes me kind of know that they're an XTB product. There's a lot of wibble wobble over here, and I'm going to talk about this more in the robot mode, but I don't like that at all. I wish it was just kind of fixed. It does roll well enough, but also the back wheel also wibble wobble. But overall, it's a beautiful piece. This is done really, really well. These are all reinforced. Most of the arms are reinforced, and so you're going to have a good time when you're messing with that shovel. Delicious ratchets sprinkled throughout the toy. Good weight distribution. Metal over here, and some other bits over there. The legs are probably the most complicated bits to transform, but I'll showcase all of that in the transformation itself. But yeah, that's been the truck mode, and let me show you the combined leg mode. Hey, really quick, with a commercial break from our sponsor, TF Safari, tfsafari.com. Check them out for all of your mecha needs from first, second, third, fourth party. They also do upgrades as well. You're not going to find a lot of sites that cater to different tastes and needs. tfsafari.com. And if you do go there, utilize the codes that you see on the top right corner of the screen and save yourself a little bit of change, man. They are a very reliable vendor. They are out of China. They ship to you in about 2 weeks, super sturdy boxes. And yeah, tfsafari.com. Can't say enough nice things about them. And so thank you so much, TF Safari, for sponsoring this video. All right, here is a sneak peek of the leg mode. And overall, very similar to the truck mode, it is done very, very well. There are a couple of bits of jank to it, just like the truck mode. I think this kind of ankle joint is way too loose. Same thing for the back and forth. I feel like it is not strong enough to support the weight of the entirety of Devastator. And also this section over here, due to the size of the head, if you press it all the way in, it forces the leg to tilt back. So in order to negate that, you can either just keep it open or you can flip the head out entirely. It doesn't affect it at all, and so I've chosen to kind of keep it open like that. But overall, yeah, that's what it looks like. And it is a parts former. And so this bit over here, this is an extension, and you can mount the wing on top of this as well, the wing for the wing tractor mode. And what you do is you just slip this bit on, and this bit, it has these two corresponding ports for these posts. And once you slip that on, you can, in theory, yes, press this down. And then on the back over here, you can hook this in. And that is the entire leg mode. It looks good. It does look good. I am worried about its capabilities to support this hulking beast of a Devastator. And I will show you a little bit later on, but there are very specific reasons why this does have ports underneath the hands and the shovel. It is because it does have a stand that I can't reach right now, but I'll show you later. And it will plug into that in order to give it a little bit more stability. And I believe in QC testing, they must have figured that out. But yeah, overall, again, not perfect, but it is pretty good. And for an Xtransbot KFC product, it is phenomenal. And I'm very, very excited to see what this looks like, because usually in terms of their sculpt, it's pretty good. Engineering, questionable. Parts, questionable. But in this one, they're doing a pretty good job, man. And I can't take that away from them. You know, I'm not going to knock them at all. I'll grade them slightly on a curve, but yeah, overall, it looks pretty good. And so now that I've shown you the truck mode and the combined leg mode, let us proceed to the bot mode. Okay. All right. So here he is in his bot mode. And I got to admit, man, this is pretty dope. It looks really, really nice. And similar to the alt and combined mode, it's a very nice piece. Overall, very, very good, but with a little bit of jankiness sprinkled in. And if you kind of hear me talking about the jank and it sounds like I'm being overcritical, just know that I like the majority of this. And it's a really, really nice toy with very, very good QC. And so the reason why I'm talking about the areas that I don't like is they're very few. They're very few. Here's one of them. The wrist could be a little bit more reinforced because this sword has a bit of weight to it. And the fact that it just kind of does that, that's not great, you know? And that's kind of minor. But the area that I dislike the most is this bit. The tires are all a little bit like weebly wobbly, you know? I wish they were just more stationary. And this one, I think it's because this has a swappable shoulder gimmick. Because here, check this out. So this, you can swap out with this external piece. And that will sit right there. And it does look nice. However, the way it connects is via these kind of two prongs that fit into the left and right rectangular channels over there. This comes off pretty easily. This goes on way too tight. And immediately after doing one swap, I encountered stress marks on those little tabs. And so I'm not going to do them. And that's very, very annoying because this guy is pretty good, dude. And like I mentioned, this is certainly XTB's best offering to date. It is leaps and bounds and generations above anything else that they've put out. And I really, really, really do hope that this is the level of quality, the standard of quality that they aspire for and that they achieve in all of their offerings going forward. Really, they could be taken seriously because currently right now the reputation that they have is like I see it all the time on my social comments. They're like, whoa, I'm surprised it didn't snap on you during transformation. I'm like, whoa, I'm surprised it didn't get a stress mark on you. And hey, those criticisms are justified, but at the same time, dude, you got to respect people for the gains and improvements that they're trying to make. This guy has a lot of improvements, dude. There's a lot of heavy metal die cast over here. There's double knee action going on. These are all bits of reinforced metal. It's done quite well. It really, really is. The paint is very, very clean. And I can't find any trace of that gummy, cheap plastic that is present. You know, I'm just going to remove this sword because it is a bit annoying. That gummy, cheap plastic that you find present in some of their other product offerings, I don't find it on this guy, and I'm so happy about that. You know what? I'm wondering if I can just tighten this screw over here, and that might alleviate some of the spin. But even that stress joint that I talked about over here, that tab, it feels like it's on strong plastic. It's just that there's too much force required to press this in. Yeah, and another area of jank is Another area where they could improve upon is their engineering. This is okay, but just a lot of compressing going on over here. In some areas like this, I don't really like sometimes these thin channels where this moves up and down. There's a couple of those. It does compress nicely, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I feel like it could be done differently. Another thing is this. Like I've mentioned before, that Xtransbot are the Rob Liefeld of people who do legs. Like Liefeld was horrible at drawing feet. And they kind of do some weird stuff with their legs. Like the majority of the transformation, the most difficult part is found in the calves. And I'll go through all of that in the transformation. But everything else, this being the most difficult and this part being the second most difficult, and it's a pretty far gap between 1 and 2, those are probably the most problematics that I have, problematic areas and problems that I have with this toy. Otherwise, it's just very, very nice. I do think the head is a little bit too big. I think it should be a tiny bit smaller, but overall the sculpt is nice. He does look like he has a big forehead, but that beautiful translucent visor is done very well. Paint is done very well. Metals, the plastics, everything. So like, dude, I applaud you, Xtransbot. I really, really do. And I hope that you keep making toys at this particular quality and caliber, because it could do a lot for you in terms of the reputation of the fan base. So, okay, now that we've looked over this guy a little bit, and I've shown you some basic articulation. Like, this is all good. You know what I mean? Like, look, this shoulder is done really, really nicely, and they've implemented double knee bends where they can. It moves without me having to do a lot of like moving stuff out of the way. And so again, posability wise, it's just, it's fun. It's fun to mess with. There's a little bit of waist action that you can get later on by lifting this up, but I would say that's more from the transformation for Devastator's leg, but he can do the so yeah, lots of fun stuff going on over here. But anyway, so now that we've done this quick little review of the bot mode, why don't we progress into the transformation? Really quick, before we proceed to the transformation, I actually wanted to talk about the hands a little bit more. So I did try to tighten this with the screwdriver, and nothing doing. Like, it didn't help at all. But the last thing that I wanted to show was an accessory that I forgot to share, and it's this trumpet. So conceptually, great idea. Wonderful. It even has a little tab over here. This, you see that right there? This raised area. And it looks like it's meant to slide into that hand. And so you position this in there, and it barely holds. You see that? There's just not enough clearance. Like, this thing kind of gets in the way so that this tab, it can't really sit inside the palm. And it almost seems like it was like an afterthought. And it's a cool looking trumpet. The sculpt and design is good, but just doesn't fit into his hand. And that, again, is one of the areas of jank. They're so close. They're so close to be taken so seriously in terms of being a contender, someone that's worthy of your money. They're just so close. And some people already believe that they are, and that's fine. But these are some of the things that they need to iron out, and then they're going to get there. They're going to be a serious contender. Their engineering is getting better. Their manufacturing is getting better. Their price point could be a little bit better. But yeah, expect better things from these guys in the future. And now let us proceed with to the transformation. All right, so for starters, we're going to convert this to look like this. And I would say that this is probably the most complicated part of the build of the transformation. And so what you're going to do is you're going to fold up this heel. They also need a little bit of help of on their English because they call this a hill. But that's fine. It's not their first language. What you're going to do is you're going to fold these down, and they're going to be fixed at the specific angle. You're going to see that you can't fold them forward. Do not try to brute force your way once you get here. And then from there, these tabs, you're going to swing all the way down. And then this entire bit is here, and it is tabbed in. And so you're just going to untab and lift that up and fold this all the way up. All right, so in order to get this to look like this, and actually this is going to be up here, what you're going to do is you're going to fold this part out. Oops. And then this part was actually folded in earlier, but it's meant to be folded out like that. And this piece over here, what you're going to do is you're going to dislodge it. And after you dislodge it, this piece you're going to flip around, and then you're going to place back down. And after you've done that, you can bring this foot down, and you can open up this particular panel. And both of these will be kind of positioned like this for the time being. In the next step, we're going to flip over the legs, or flip the legs up. All right, you can see one part's been done over here, and I'm going to do the same with this half. This part always kind of trips me up, but hopefully this will be pretty smooth. So what you're going to do is you're going to bend this up. That's easy enough, right? And now, oops, this came undone. We want this to look like that. And in order to do that, you're going to have to start opening up a bunch of these flaps. So you see how this all unfolds on itself? Here, let me see if I can get the leg a little bit more out of the way. And so we're going to start folding all of this stuff out. Yeah, and I still do believe that it is over-engineered. I don't think it has to be this difficult in order to achieve what they're trying to achieve, but that's fine. And after you start bending that out, you are going to reposition that, all of this. And this bit, probably didn't do a good job of showing this to you. The bit that we folded out earlier is going to be integral to tabbing this together. And once that's in there, you can kind of close that up. Oh, almost forgot. This bit, you got to bring that out. And then you can fold this out. And I believe I have done everything on this side as well. Everything's tabbed in. Everything's pushed in as best as possible. And then, sorry, I had it like all the way over here. And then from here, we're going to bring these bits together. And then fold this up. And you see this little tab? You're going to hook that into that area there. Same thing for the other side. And that is the bottom part. Oh, and all that's left to do is swing down the tires. I do wish they locked in a little bit better. They do have soft knuckle ratchets that allow them to stay in place, but something a little bit firmer would have been nicer in my opinion. And I don't know, I can't get this to quite sit up 100% to lock in there, but I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I don't know, man. I think it looks good enough. So we're going to keep it like that. And yeah, and that's the bottom half. A couple of areas that I neglected to mention is that these bits right over here, these are the side skirts. You're actually going to lift them up from the side and have them kind of quasi-connect with that side bit on both sides to kind of fill up the gap. And this bit in its final form will hang down like that. But for the time being, we'll just kind of leave that up. Okay, so we are going to focus on the head. This part, when it hides into the chest, is going to be sideways, and so we'll just kind of do that for now. And this, when it transforms, oddly enough, it will be at an angle. I know that's kind of strange, you know, but it just know that it will be at an angle. Okay, and the arms do this weird butterfly thing, but I think that's for, oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of another toy right now. So, okay, this bit, you see these little grooves over here, these circular grooves, they are going to attach into this area over here. And these bits, that area is going to tab in. And so just imagine you're trying to coax this into here. And in order to do that, you're going to have to bring these up on this channel, and that scares me a little bit because the plastic is kind of thin. At the same time, like I mentioned, this is one of their best offerings, and so I'm not that terrified of the plastic. And even there, I was a little forceful when I swung that down and that connected in place. And this, you are going to spin. If you find that this is like warping, just kind of hold it in place and help it, and then you're going to spin that all around. And eventually that canopy bit is going to open up. Before we do that, we can get that chair and we can push back the back. That's pretty cool. Push back the back. Open this bit up and we're going to bring the tire and we can close this bit on top of it again and push that down. I do think that the wheel is a little bit recessed in comparison to where the seat is, but at that point I'm just nitpicking. And he does even have these like pulleys and levers on the side, which is pretty neat, man. Very, very cool. But yeah, I don't know if they needed to do all of that, but they did. So yeah, I'm fine with that. All right, so in order to manipulate the shovel, sorry, I had the head sideways before. What you're going to do is once you have the arms in this position, you're going to kind of bring them out on their butterflies. And don't worry, if you can't stack them on top of each other, you're just trying to get some clearance in there. And then what you're going to do is, you see that bit, you are going to unlock it on both sides. And once you unlock that, you'll have freedom to kind of start manipulating the shovel. There are a lot of reinforcing metal bits on here. Like this entire bit is metal. These arms are metal, and so just be mindful of them because the plastic will never be able to win a war against the metal if you're pressing them up against each other. And so just be kind of mindful of all of that. And I'm going to see if I can actually just transform this section here with you without cutting away. here you're gonna open this up. This I am not a big fan of. These very, very, very small pegs are what's going to be used to kind of connect this together. In this mode, it's not that much of a big deal. In combined mode, it plays a bigger role, and I think they're far too small to kind of absorb the pressure needed for that particular piece. And so you're going to see me kind of not really quite like lock them in later on, but that has its own set of challenges. And so here you can start stretching out the shovel. The shovel will come to a natural stop, like here, for instance. I will bend these up and they will tab in, but this shovel bit, there's only so much it can move, and you do not want to force it beyond what it can naturally do, because the plastic will hate you for it. And so basically just get it to as far as you can so that you can bring down that metal bit and reinforce itself in there. And that way you'll be able to move it on this channel while this arm basically stays connected. All right, we're pretty much at the home stretch over here, and you can see that I've already converted one arm. So what you're going to do is you are going to open up this forearm piece, if I can remember where it opens up from. Okay, cool. And then you're going to take this fist, and then you're going to bend it back. And what's interesting is this part also opens up. And like more than just the fist flipping, the entire front section actually opens up, and it's kind of helpful if you need some more clearance. And so I think that's a cool piece of engineering. And this is going to spin, and then you are going to compress that. And if you've done everything properly, that little slot will be able to sit. But it looks like I have not done something properly, because for some reason, oh, the arm slipped down. Okay. You're going to be able to slip that in there, and then you're going to bring that up. And now that is all tabbed in. Then we will just bring this forward. And I believe we are done so. And cool. So one more time, this is the alt mode. Also, you can see that I don't have the little bits that I had on there earlier because they just fall off too easily. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this right now because we did talk about this at the beginning of the video. But again, looks really nice. Great Constructicon green. Great dispersion of plastics and metals. Feels good. Feels hefty. Transformation is not overly difficult. And again, the biggest challenge was probably getting all the leg bits right, and maybe moving everything on the levers for the canopy and for the shovel itself. But overall, pretty fun if you ask me. And now we're going to convert him into leg mode, and it is super duper easy. All right, now we're going to convert him into his combiner mode, and it starts by kind of untabbing these. And if you remember, they're tabbed in not only into the side right over here, but also the top. And so once you untab that, what you're going to do is you're going to bring down the arm, but what you're also going to do is you're going to untab this from the body, and you're going to slide that up, and you will find that there is a secondary place where this is going to tab in. And I believe this part, oops, not that part, but this, I think, gets spun inward like that. Not going to make too much of a difference, but overall, that's what it's going to kind of look like. And there are these locking bits. Where are they? Where are they? I lost track of them. But there are some locking bits on the arm over here, and I don't see them right now. Oh, this. Yeah. Before, when these are folded out, this would prevent this from locking in. But with that having been bent up, you can keep this kind of you can kind of keep this straight. And I don't think it will fold in on itself, but maybe it will. We'll get to that later. We'll troubleshoot that later. But yeah, untab this bit. Again, bring that out, open up the butterfly, slide this up, and fold that back jack. And I think you can just kind of bring that down over there too. And that is the basis for the foot. Yeah, and we'll kind of fix it in post later. But I do wish these kind of locked in a little bit better, a little bit better. But yeah, let's keep going. I do remember why these have to be folded out. It's gonna. They're a little bit difficult to get out, and so I need to use a little spudger and X-Acto knife to pull them out. But the reason why you are bringing them out is that when you fold this backward over here, those bits are going to slide into that metal channel, that metal cavity. It's not a great implementation, but once it's in there, it will prevent the leg from collapsing, or the shovel, excuse me, from collapsing in on itself. And yeah, and so this is how you're going to orient it. And we're going to change the orientation of this waist over here as well. But for the time being, yeah. And also these, I forgot, I think I had them like this or something. You want this slanted part to be facing forward towards the shovel bit, okay? Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to untab this, and that will basically free up and unlock this section from this back section over here. And then what you're going to do is you are going to pull this apart to reveal the ankle joint like that. You see that, right? And right now, so this is the problem right over here. If you look at this natively, you can see that it wants to bend backward. You see that? And in order to alleviate that, I found that if you release the head, where is it? Man, where is that joint? Dude, I can't figure it out if it's here or here. 1 second. Okay, I got it out. So I found that if you release this joint, you can get this to stand up straight, because otherwise it's going to be tilted back like this. And see, that's kind of how I would envision the orientation to be, and this will not stay closed. If you do, it's going to be pressed backward. And so I don't know how that's going to affect the final form once you combine them into Devastator. So perhaps I'll eat my words and find that I have to have this locked in later on. But for the time being, I'm not gonna tab that in. And then you can see that he has the ankle tilt over here. It is a little worrisome. It is a little worrisome because it's a little too free moving. And so, but while we're here, we are going to open this bit up, and we're going to hide the steering wheel, if I can get that to hide properly. And I can't get that to hide. Is an order of operation I have to observe? 1 second. Let me see what's going on. Okay, I got it in there. I don't know. I just needed some clearance. And then I was able to fold it in, and then I was able to fold it back up. But yeah, I don't know why it was giving me so much difficulty. And then from here, there aren't exact instructions on what to do with this piece, but generally you can think of it as that you're just trying to compress it. And I kind of like doing that. I think that folds up nicely. It covers that well. And yeah, so that's the most part of the foot. And then you're gonna fold these shovel bits up, and then this part over here, and that will just kind of give you a greater presence with regard to kind of like the toe mechanism. All right, now for the final step, before we add the thigh to this, if you don't care about removing that little bit over here, then you don't have to do anything to this part. You can just kind of keep as is. However, if you do intend to keep that part here and you want to convert it, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to open the leg again, and you're going to have to undo some of the stuff that you did. And this bit you're going to fold out, and then you're going to fold again, flip over, and then once you do that, then bring down the toe, then bring that bit back, and then just proceed with closing everything up again. And we're going to do all this same thing over. So I'm not going to do it on camera. I showed you earlier, and so just give me a second. I'll redo it, and we'll get back to it. All right, cool. I closed it all up again. And then what we're going to do from here is we're going to grab that thigh piece, and you're going to see that it is very form-fitting. We're going to have this hug that. Oh, and you know what? You do have to flip. Oh, I'm such a dummy. I didn't flip over this one. I only did this one, but there's a reason why you want this one over here. It's because there are these corresponding teeth bits over here that plug in. And so anyway, just pretend that I'd flip this over and it's like that, okay? And then, so these are very form-fitting. It's going to fit over the lights. And then you're going to bring that down like that. And then you're going to cover, or you're going to close this bit up like that. And the tires, I don't know, you can have them wherever you want. If you want them hugging higher up on the leg or the side, it is completely up to you, my friend. But that is pretty much the leg mode. And I still think I'm correct in not securing this because, like I said, if I did, it would force this leg at an angle. And I think that's not right. It has that tilt. It's supposed to be right there. It is pretty loose. It's a very, very, very soft ratchet in there. And so, yeah, it's meant to move, but I don't think it's meant to like hold positions. I don't know if you know what I mean. It does kind of move forward as well, but I wouldn't trust bearing all of this robot's weight down on this particular area. I think he's just going to be standing there and ankle tilted at the most. You can see that he has little holes down over here, and you can see that there are these holes underneath the shovel, and the reason for that is that he comes with this bit. He comes with the stand, and the stand has the corresponding pegs, the posts that will allow you to plug these things in, and plug that in right over here, and that will ultimately help him stand. They must have done some testing to realize that their toy is not that stable. And so, I mean, kudos to them for at least providing some type of something, but that's what the leg looks like. In terms of how the hip connects, there are spring, activated little teeth things over here that's going to grip the hip once you kind of get that all in. But you can see that he has a bit of a double knee. I mean, it's a single knee actually, but not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Am I concerned that he's not going to stay together? Yeah, I am. But we're just going to have to wait and see. But so far, so good. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's super hateful. I actually think it's pretty decent. A pretty good product offering on their part. But still, little bits of jank, like this bit. This is the biggest jankiness that I can cite, in that if you do keep it locked in place, it puts this foot kind of at an angle. I think it's like that. I feel like the supporting arms should be connected here a little bit better. I don't like this weeble wobble that I already see right now, because with more weight, I feel like it's going to become more and more unstable. Yeah, but that's what we got. That's what we got. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, huh? But yeah, man, that's been the transformation from robot mode into alt mode and then into combined mode. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I've enjoyed presenting this to you, just kind of giving you my takes of pros and cons. And yeah, I'll be back next time with another review, and we'll talk some more, okay? Have a lovely, lovely day, my friends.